Find your trading.
Right, that's better. I've got all the chat in one place. That's even better. Right, that's better. Got all the chat in one place. Even better. All the chat in one place. Right, that's what I was looking for. Rock hard. Yeah, I had a great weekend, well, I say a great weekend. It would have been better if Ireland had not beaten England in the Six Nations. Living in Ireland, that always is a problem for me. But other than that, yeah, good weekend. All right, let me just get all my. I'll come to that question in a moment, Julian. So, Julian, so just to give you a heads up, guys, I'm streaming on multi-streaming today. So I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm streaming on Twitter, and I'm streaming on TikTok. I'm simulcasting, I think is the terminology. So every platform other than TikTok, I'm sorry TikTok, every platform other than TikTok has a full view of my desktop. The action and everything else. Only on TikTok can you not see the action. But what I will do is when I'm taking trades, as I complete the trade, I will take it out and show you what's transpiring. So that's as far as I can do it. I think. Just having a look at the wider markets now. Julie wants to know why I don't trade the UK markets. Very simple answer to that. Whilst you can get volatility in the UK markets, you just don't get the volume. So there's not enough people trading the UK markets for the pattern breakouts to be reliable. So for me, it's as a pattern day trader, as a momentum day trader. The two things I'm looking for primarily are volume and volatility. Now, the volatility, depending on market conditions, can be found in most markets. However, the majority of day traders, we follow the crowds. So the majority of day traders are trading the US market. So it's safer for me to trade the US markets because the patterns are more likely to break out predictably. That's why I don't trade the UK markets. That and the fact that I would have to get up at silly o'clock in the morning to prepare for the UK market open at 9 o'clock GMT, whereas I can take my time, have my breakfast, take the dog for a walk, do whatever I need to do in the morning with my other parts of my business, and then after lunch is when I get ready for the US markets. So that's where I am. I don't do Forex. So Kakamilish says, do I do Forex? No, I don't do Forex. A number of reasons why I don't do Forex, but again, volume is a key one, but also spreads and risk in relation to leverage. To trade the Forex markets, you have to take incredibly high leverage. Now, I do take relatively high leverage for trading the stock market, but I mean, the most I'll take is like 6 times. Typically, most brokers will give you 4 times leverage, and other than that, you might get 6 times. Other than that, the trading equities, you're not usually getting brokers that are trading more than 6 times, giving 6 times leverage. If you're trading futures, you can get 60, 70, 80 times leverage depending on the broker. But Forex, they tend to look for or provide up to 200 times leverage. So it's just an increased risk as far as I'm concerned. And if you look at the statistics, I'm already in a game that, the statistics, the odds are stacked against me anyway. The majority of people that get involved in day trading the markets they lose money. Over 80% of people, over 85% who get involved in trading stocks and shares lose money. If you talk about the Forex market, that number actually goes higher. It goes to above 95%. So to be part of the 15% profitable or part of the top 5% profitable, I think my odds are better in the top 5. Now I'm just about to try and find something to trade today. So Marigold held a lot of its gains. It's trading at 425, so it held quite a bit of its gains from Friday. So I'm going to keep hold of that. Not saying I will trade it. At the moment, Volt is the top gapping stock. I'll have a look at the chart in a moment. We've got Turquoise. I'll have a look at an Agriforce again. So we traded Agri very well last week. Agri was good to us last week. Agriforce. So that's up again today. So I'm going to have a look at the chart with Volt. That's not a trade for me. It's just barcoding. So let's see what the news on Volt is. There's a conference call tomorrow. Okay, so it's an acquisition. The company's announced it's going to be acquired for $6 a share. So that's not a trade for me. It's not a trade for the average day trader. It's up at 591s. Your max range there is going to be 9 cents. So that's not a trade. Get rid of Volt. Turquoise. Let's have a look at why Turquoise is gapping up. So Turquoise. Right, okay, so Rio Tinto offers to buy Turquoise for 2.7 billion. There's been a takeover proposal. Now, that's put a little bit of turmoil into Turquoise, so that could be interesting. Keep an eye on that one. What's the float like? So I'll just bring this back so it can be seen. So 186 million float. It's not exactly a small float. It's not huge, but it's not a small float, so there probably will be better options to take. And we can see that the volume's not great at the moment. Let's have a look at Agri. We traded this last week and it was really good for us. So as you can see, we've got some support and resistance lines already drawn in here. Let's have a quick look at Agri. What's the news on this one? Is it still a... Okay, let's have a look. So this is 13 million float. So this is much better in terms of float size. And should you buy Agri Systems? That's from Friday. So we're not seeing any particular news today. But let's have a look at Thursday. Shares. So we're probably still on the back of the news from Thursday evening that they announced a binding letter of intent to acquire a tissue culture propagation company. So yeah, Agri could be one to watch. We'll keep an eye on that one. I'll put that on the. I'm keeping Indonesian Energy there, and the reason I'm going to put Indonesian Energy on the watch list, and I'll show you the details on this. Indo. So Indonesian Energy, we've traded this quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, while the energy stocks have been volatile and in an upwards trend. But when I looked at this on Friday, the short percentage is almost 50%, 49% short float. So it's a short, it's a small float anyway. We're only like 2 million shares. So the fact that we've got such a high short interest suggests to me, and in particular when we've got the energy stocks booming the way they are, I think that's a dangerous position for whoever's shorting that. I know it's higher, it's been trading higher than it normally does, but I think that's an extremely dangerous position to take. So if it continues to trade higher, these shorts are going to have to cover. They're going to find themselves in deep water. So they're going to have to cover and maybe take another short position at a average in or whatever it is. It's currently trading at $25. So if this goes back above $30 today, then we could see some fireworks. Whether it will or not is something that we'll have to keep an eye on. Okay, so that's the watch list as it stands today. So we've got two tickers on there. One's not really got the volume, which is turquoise. So Agri is the only one at the moment that's looking like potentially we can trade that. Okay, I'll address the chat again. Okay, guys, if you're in the TikTok chat, can you just do me a favor? We've got as many likes as we've got people in the chat. So give the screen kind of 10, 12 taps. It helps with the algorithm, and that way it will. If we've got people, it will push it out to more people. Okay. So what do I think about the Nasdaq today? Well, I don't trade the indices because they're a derivative. The action on the indices is based on the tickers contained within. So I trade the Nasdaq, I trade the NYSE, the Dow, or however you want to call it. So all of the US markets. I don't get involved in the OTC markets, the pink sheets, if you will. I don't get involved in Forex, futures. For an intraday basis, I might swing trade futures, but I don't get involved in Forex or futures or any other derivatives. Okay, so I don't only trade on the US 30. If I did only trade the top 30 in the US, it's I wouldn't get the stocks I wouldn't get the volatile stocks, the low cap stocks that I get. What do I think of AMC? I like AMC as a company, but it's a cinema chain. It's been trading for the best part of the last year. It's been trading substantially higher than what its fundamental value is. And what you've got is a toxic community on the Reddit community and the Wall Street bets and various other, this so-called egg community that tried to ride it up because of the some of the nefarious activities around shorting it. The same with GME, and that's fine. I've no problems with trying to call out the nefarious activities and get reform in the finance industry, because it is a corrupt industry, absolutely. But to think that it's going to squeeze, there's the mother of all short squeezes incoming for AMC. The numbers just don't support it. So if you speak to one of these AMC enthusiasts, they'll tell you that, well, we've got over 100% short interest. No, you don't. In fact, I'll show you what the short interest is on AMC right now. So you've got 100% utilization, AMC. So let's have a look at the key data. AMC, 19.68% short flow. So it's a 20% short float. Now, I'm just talking about Indonesian Energy there, which is a 2 million share float, and it's almost 50% shorted. Whereas this one's a 515 million float. And granted, retail traders own most of that float, and the ape community say that they're not selling, so they're just going to hodl forever. Okay, so where's the volatility? Where's the volume? The things that we need for a squeeze is volatility and volume, and without anybody trading it, and if you're just, there has to be a buyer and there has to be a seller. So if you're not selling, there can't be any buyers. So that means that there's no volatility or volume in the market. So it's just going to stay static. It's not going to go up or down. It's just going to stay stable and static, and slowly over time, that 30% of the market that isn't owned by the apes, that 30% that's owned by the institutions, will slowly grind down the price, and it'll end up down towards $12, $11, $12. It's not going to squeeze. If it gets above $25 again, maybe I'll stand corrected. But from what I can see, AMC is not going to squeeze. The squeeze was last year. And if you're holding bags from last year, I feel sorry for you, but not taking profits is the way to go broke. Nobody ever went broke by taking profits. So if you're still in AMC and you're holding a bag above $40, either average down and try to get in a position on the next little spike up, try and get profits there, or just forget about it. Just hold forever and hope, pray for a miracle that it will squeeze one day. I mean, you've got to ask yourself a question. If all these people holding bags around AMC, if it does squeeze, are they then going to sell? It's a question that if they're going to just hodl forever, at what point do they take profits? And if they decide that they're going to sell, let's say, at $50, do they all sell at $50, which means that it'll tank the price even further? So there's no logic behind it. I totally get this do-good movement for reforming the finance industry with AMC and GME, and exposing the corruption and the synthetic short sellers and all that kind of stuff. I get all of that. I understand all of that. But I got into the markets to make money, not to prove a point, not to jump on a cause. Most people get in the markets to make money. So if you're not making money, what are you doing? That's my question. Is this astrology? Yeah, what star sign would you like me to read next? I don't think AMC will squeeze. I'm not saying it won't squeeze again. What I'm saying is, based on current the current data, there's no catalyst for it to squeeze. Okay, so you're just hoping it's going to squeeze. It's not going to. What's my portfolio return percentage year to date? I'd have to go into the details of that, but certainly I can. We're percentage-wise, we're certainly in the triple digits, and then some. Okay, quadruple digits. Yeah. TMC. Let's have a look at the chart. Okay, so TMC, the metals company. It's on an intraday basis. There's no trade in it for me. Absolutely not. It's just almost barcoding sideways. But on the day, it's up at 271 at the moment. It did go as high as almost 330s pre-market. On the daily chart, it's been selling off up until last week. On the weekly, a similar sort of scenario. So it's last week. It's had a good week last week. It's gapping up again today slightly, but it's certainly not. It's not one that's going to be interesting me as yet. for two reasons. One, the lack of volume in the trading. Two, there's no particular trend at the moment. It's trending sideways on the day. I mean, it closed out like in the 260s, 250s. It's now 270s. So that 20-cent range between Friday's close and today's open so far. There's no reason for me to be trading this. From a swing perspective, if you like the fundamentals and you think there's good reason for it to maybe potentially continue the upwards trend that it's exhibited over the next week, you do you. But I'm not typically a swing trader, so TMC, it's not something that I like, but it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. TSM. Okay, again, very low volume stock, been selling off since mid January on the daily. Very low volume on the intraday. It's down on the day. Had a terrible day on Friday. Just sold off all day long. So again, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, not a trade for me there. Just not enough volume, volatility, and it's ranging above and below the VWAP, so it's not actually adhering to any particular trend one way or the other. Again, it's kind of sideways on the day on very low volume. So I'm not going to be trading TSM either long or short. The fact that it's been selling off, I don't know. I mean, it's 101 now, so I don't know what the catalyst there is and why it's selling off. But do your own research. I wouldn't be taking a long trade on it. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if that continues to sell off. So if you're short on that, that could be a good trade. It's exhibiting on the daily. It's exhibiting very bearish sentiments. Yeah, I'm watching IMPP and Marigold again. IMPP is low volume at the minute, low relative volume. It's not gapping up either, but I've got it on the on this one here, so we're down on the day. But then again, last week a couple of times we're coming, into the open red, and then it's made red to green moves. Same with Indonesian Energy, very low volume at the moment pre-market, but just the short interest alone, the short float alone on Indonesian Energy means it's going to be an interesting one to watch today. Marigold, it's kept most of its gains from last week. So it was a IPO back on the 10th. So it made huge gains on Friday. It was up over 200% at one stage, and it's kept a lot of those. So it's currently trading up. What are we doing? Marigold is trading up. It's about 10% up at the moment. So it's 7.5% up at the moment. So I'm watching Marigold. I don't trade the German market. Marin Software, is that still gathering? Oh dear, there's nobody trading Marin Software at all. So no trades for me today on Marin Software. We've had 28 trades pre-market total. So no volume at all with Marin Software. It's not gapping up or down. I mean, it closed out at 295 on Friday. It's 298. There's no trades at all yet. It's not looking great. On the daily, it's been selling off since November. It did have a high back in August, went up to like 42s. The fact that it went up to 42s back in August and it's now trading at under $3 speaks volumes. But this is a good this is a good one to actually look at. So if you look, as you can see, I traded this back in the day when it was moving big. I'll put it on the 5 minute instead of the 1 minute, so that Okay, so you can see this. It made a pump up back in June and July. It pumped up to kind of $30 on Marin Software. It pulled all the way back down to kind of $4, $5, $6. Then made another squeeze all the way up to 43, 44, 42.95. Then it's not seen the top side of $12 since. So this is what I'm saying about a lot of the stocks that I trade on an intraday basis. They're garbage companies when it comes to investment. If you're a value investor, then don't go chasing the action and hold them long time. So Marin Software is a quality example of that. If you bought up here at during this squeeze back in August, you bought up here in the 20s. And you rode it up, you might have taken some profit, maybe. But if you're still holding bags in the 20s and 30s, the chances of you actually seeing that again are very slim. You're reliant on Marin having another great day or another great week, some kind of publicity, some kind of really good news catalyst coming out, and an activist investor gets involved in them maybe, or they get some kind of patent approval or something along those lines, or they win a massive contract. Something, there has to be something really big for Marin to get to those levels again. It was pumped heavily back in the autumn, and the chance of seeing those highs again are very, very low. Okay, so let's have a look. Thoughts on uranium? Don't eat it. Don't eat. On thoughts on uranium? It's not good for your diet if you try and eat it. So. I don't know what stocks we're looking at. Jack Sparrow wants to know. At the moment, there's not. Again, it's a slow start to the day. Agri, which moved for us like the middle of last week, and we traded it, is up at the moment. It's currently $4, which is where I like to trade above $4, as you know. Marigold was the one we traded on Friday. That's up at about 7% on the day. So I'm looking for a potential continuation on Marigold. But there's no volume. It's all on relatively low volume in comparison. Agriforce, what's the average? We've got good relative volume with Agriforce. Average daily volume is 4.9 million, 5.8 million already. Marigold, you can't go off the relative volume with Marigold because it's only been trading for two full days so far. If you look at what the average volume on Marigold is, it's 45 million. That's based on Friday. So you can't go off that. Otherwise, we're like, it's got low relative volume. And quite frankly, IPOs, it's difficult to get a good understanding of what relative volume actually is. So you have to just go on what the float is and what the float turnover is. So if we look at pull Marigold up, for example, and I'll pull that up on my daily as well. If I look at on the volume on the daily, it was 89, just shy of 90 million shares traded on Friday. And if I look at what the actual float size is, it's a 5 million float. So just think about that for a second. It's huge. It's turned over. The float has actually turned over. Oh, what's that? 18 times. 18 times over. So it's a huge action. If you talk about relative volume on an IPO, you got to look at it in terms of the size of the float, relative in terms of the size of the float as opposed to average volume, and that's huge. So let's see if we get a continuation with Marigold today. We may not. It's not stock picks. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give stock picks. I'm not giving signals. And if please Don't follow me blindly on these streams. It doesn't matter whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, or TikTok. It doesn't matter. These streams are all delayed. They're all delayed by a good 3-4 seconds. So the chances are that when you see me taking a position, I've already taken it, and I might have actually closed that position already. So just be careful. Follow my strategies. Follow the patterns that I'm looking at. Trade the same patterns by all means, but use your own judgment. Don't follow me blindly, and don't follow anyone blindly. Which comes to another point, is where I lost a lot of money when I first got into the markets, is doing that, following trade signals. I subscribe to about 3 or 4 different chat rooms. It's like 10, 15 bucks a month or something, and trying to follow trade signals or stock picks and whatever. Don't do it. Do not do it. You'd be better off putting your money into something like Benzinga, looking at the market yourself, picking out your own stocks, and then looking for the setups, looking for the patterns. So it's not. I've just seen Nightscope just pop onto the scanners, so I want to see if there's a catalyst. So Nightscope. Nancy's commercial developer contract. Okay, that's interesting. So that's a decent catalyst. What's the data? Oh, there's no short data. 14 million shares. I'll take that as being the float, if that's the there's no float data. But okay, so Nightscope can go on the list. I'll pop that on here. KSCP, and I'll pop it on here. Just popped up. What's the relative volume? 8.5 million typically. So we want to see a bit more volume traded before it becomes a real contender, but it's got a good catalyst, and it's already up 13% on the day. So given that we're not seeing a huge amount of activity in the market so far, could be worth taking a look. Mulan again. So I'll take a look at this. Ooh. So the 5-minute, it's a low value stock. It's not got much of a range. Shares trades, total trades today 72,250. So 38 million shares traded. So we've got. Let me just pull this up so we can have a look at the actual data. So if we look at Mulan, or Mullen, or whatever you want to call it, Mullen Automotive. So look at the data here. It's a 20 million shares float, and 10% shorted. That's not too bad. But it's 20 million share float. When just kind of. It was featured on Carbos. Other than that, not seeing a big catalyst, but it was, it's had some positive press, is what it looks like, or some interesting press. That's why it's moving up. So at 170s. It's trading sideways. It's not a trade for me yet, but if you like them low cap stocks, the low value stocks, then cheap shares. You do you. I'm not particularly keen on this as a play for me, but I'm not telling. Like I say, it's not financial advice. It's not something I will be taking. These doji blanks kind of warm me off it. So even though we're getting decent volume in terms of the day, we're not getting the volatility. So one without the other is pretty useless for a pattern day trader. We need both. We need both volatility and volume. CLSD, I can have a look at that. Okay, dear. This is not a good chart at all. From an intraday basis, there's nobody trading it. There is Clearside Biomedical. Now, I like the pharmaceuticals and medical stocks normally. The reason I like them is that they tend to be quite volatile. If they get an FDA approval, and they're always researching something, so if they get an FDA approval or they get to clinical trials or whatever it is, they can have a very big day. You know, you can get a pharmaceutical stock that gets FDA approval or clinical trials or something like that, positive clinical trials, and they can gap up, say, 20-30% and go on a run and make 200-300% run in a day. Conversely, they'll drop down a day or two later and you'll never hear from them again. So just be wary with stocks like this. It's they are volatile. They can be volatile, but this one is not. So it's trading down. It's down at 172s. So again, it's a cheap stock, but there's just no volume. There's nobody buying it. There's nobody trading it. 750 trades in total in the 8 hours. So there's nobody trading that at all. So and it's been selling off since last year. It's been selling off since October. So it had last week was a good week for it. I don't know what the catalyst was last week. I can have a look at that if you want me to, but it's unlikely I'll be trading this. I think it had a good day on Friday pre-market. It had a good day Friday. That's it. And it's the first good day it's had in a long time. So it probably had news. Let me just pull up the ticker and have a look, see what the news was on Friday for it to have a good CLSD. So the news on Friday. Let me just see this resolve. What determines a good buy? It depends on what you're looking to get out of it, first and foremost. So I'm just having a look at, giving my thoughts on Clearside Medical as well. But if you're buying it long term, you need to do fundamental research on it. Is it a company that you like? Do you want to be part of the growth of that company? Does it have a future that you want to be part of? That kind of thing. So you do fundamental research on that. If you're just looking for a short term, quick win, quick profits in, ride it for a profit and get out, whether that's to the long side or the short side, then you're looking for something that's volatile. It can make one of those big moves. It has the potential to make a big move, so it's got a good range on it. And something that's got a lot of volume, so a lot of people trading. It's got the public's interest. It's got the retailers, traders' interest. That's what you're looking for in terms of what is a good buy. So should you buy Clearside Medical? Annual report last week. So Friday they had their annual report. Just looking for any particular. Just Q4 sales results is what it's looking at. Is why Clearside was moving on Friday. It's the first time it's had a good a really good day in a long time, but on the daily it's still not great, and it's down on Friday, so it's not something I will be looking for a continuation with. It's not only is it down on where it finished on Friday, it's actually lower than where it started on Friday. So whilst it initially gapped up, and it's basically selling off now. For people who were in it on Thursday, maybe took some profits and it's selling off. Jack Sparrow, you have only 400 to spend. So for you, anything you see below $2, unfortunately. Well, that tends to be the case. And day trading or intraday trading for small accounts is very tricky, because every trade you take becomes a gamble at that stage, because you have to, if you're in an account that charges commissions, you have to cover the commissions before you even make any money. And then once you've covered the commissions, you're then looking for it to gain enough, and you're not getting any leverage or margin with that in a lot of cases, because you're under $500. So you're looking for it to make a 10% move, at least 10% move in a single trade. So to do that on an intraday basis is difficult. You have to be incredibly choosy with the trades that you pick. Maybe look at swing trading and do it that way. Maybe you'll get a bigger win if you do swing trading. But if you're trading with $400, the likelihood is you're trading with a cash account as opposed to trading on margin. So when you've got leverage, the thing is you can start with $400 and trading it like a cash account. You get it above $500, you might start getting that first level of leverage, of margin. So they'll give you a 2-to-1 on that. So you're then trading with $1,000 worth of buying power once you've got $500 in there. $1,000 worth of buying power, if you can make 10% on a trade, which is, again, you've got to only pick the first class setups, because it's not easy to do that. So you've got to be extremely accurate. But 10% is $100. What I would say is, more realistically, if you can make 5% on that trade, and you're effectively you're YOLOing into every trade at that stage, you've got $1,000 worth of buying power, and you YOLO into a trade, you do say 90% buying power or something like that, depending on what your broker will allow you. 90% buying power is put $900 into a trade, and you're looking to get $50 out of it. If you get $50, great. You're looking to make $50 profit. And then you're done for the day, and you do the same the next day and slowly grow it over time. And before you know it, you end up with like 2,000, 2,500. You get to 2,500, which tends to be the threshold for most brokers, that then they will give you full leverage of kind of 4 times. So you've got 2,500, you're then trading with a $10,000 buying power account. So, you know. What lot size would you recommend someone with 1,000 units? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. So if you've got $1,000, do you mean if you got an account size $1,000, lot size 1,000? I'm not. So it all depends. So if we're talking lot size, it's like the number of shares that you're going to trade. So if you're talking the number of shares you're going to trade, it depends on what your buying power on the account is. And the share price of the equity that you're looking to trade. If you have, in Jack Sparrow's case, if he's got $400, he's not going to be trading Apple, because he won't be able to buy 1 share, let alone 10 shares. So he's really limited on kind of sub $10 stock. And if he takes 100 shares on a $4 stock, that's him maxed out. That's him putting his entire equity into that trade. So he's then got to hope that goes up at least 50%, just to 100 shares. If it goes up 50%, he's making what? $50. Or he's making $50 if it goes up 50 cents. Sorry, not 50%. Make $200 if it goes up 50%. Okay, and Monday's usually a good trading day for volume volatility. It depends. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'll just have a quick look at my. Let's have a quick look at my trading view statistics. Let's go into the reports. I'll clear that and just go detailed days time. So Mondays are my worst performing day of the week in total. Fridays are my best performing day of the week. However, conversely, that being said, Fridays tend to be the least volatile day of the week, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are the most volatile for some strange reason. So, based on what I'm looking at here, so yeah. Just trying to pull up my chat again. How much money would you say you should trade with if you somewhat know what you're doing? Only as much as you're prepared to lose. So I know that's a very vague answer, but it absolutely is the right answer, because trading in the markets is incredibly risky. The majority of people that trade in the markets lose money. Over 85% of the people that get involved in day trading stocks and shares, day trading equities, lose money. That's actually increases to over 90% when you factor in other instruments, or likes of FX and crypto and what have you. So day trading is incredibly risky. Don't do it if you are struggling to pay the bills. If do not put money in that you're not prepared to lose. That's so. How much should you trade with? No more than you can afford to lose. That is true. Do I start at the same time each day, and why? So yes, I start at the same time, just because that's when my broker allows me to start trading, is 2 hours before market open. I can't trade before that. So I'm entitled to trade from 12:30 p.m. my time, which is GMT, being based in Dublin, which is 7:30 market time, 7:30 a.m. Do I trade at this stage every day? No. Friday, for example, I didn't take any pre-market trades because there were no setups. So if there's no setups, you don't take a trade just for the sake of trading. You've got to wait for the setups to present themselves and then take it, because that's how you get profitable trading. Marigold is making moves. Okay, now we're back above the volume weighted average price. This is now of interest to me. So do I hold AMC? Absolutely not. I got out of my AMC. I sold what was left of my AMC position at 39.80. So I made sure that when I was holding it, that I took profits in the 60s, and I then let it retrace kind of 50%, and then it went back up, and I said, okay, if it doesn't hold 40, I'm just getting out. And it didn't hold 40, so I took I sold the rest after late 39s or something, and I've never bought back in, because it's moved up. It went and started consolidating in around kind of between 30 and 32 for a while. Then it dropped further, and then it was like 25 to 30, and then it's dropped further, and that's what it's been doing. I'm not like, hats off to the players that are holding strong because they've already written the money off, but the toxicity of that community, I just have no time for. If you don't believe in AMC as a company, you're a villain for some strange reason. If you don't believe there's going to be another squeeze, you're a shill and you're being paid by the hedge funds. It's like, would you ever listen to yourself? This conspiracy theories, it's like a cult, and it's just so toxic. So it's like, no, if it shows any particular volatile day, AMC, I'm not emotionally attached to any particular stock. So if AMC comes along and there's some news catalyst, or for whatever reason, it decides it's going to have a good day and it's gapping up at least 15% on good relative volume, then yeah, I'll trade it. But am I investing in it long term? Absolutely not. Would I recommend someone use a stop loss? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely use a stop loss. So if you are not disciplined enough to execute your mental stops, then when you execute a trade, when you enter a trade, either do it automatically, so it's like 20 cents and you can move it to wherever you need the stop loss or whatever it is, but automatically put the stop loss in there. Unfortunately, if you're trading pre-market, stop losses won't work. with most brokers. So you do have to have a mental stop, but most people don't trade pre-market anyway. So, you know, market is opening. What time do stocks usually shoot up? So the market opens at 9:30, and that's when the volume floods the market. So between 9:30, this is market time, so East Coast, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock is the most volatile period of the day. The next half an hour is probably akin to the last hour of the day. So I would say the first 60, 90 minutes is when you're going to get big moves. After that, you're really waiting for some intraday news catalyst. Maybe some news comes out midday or around lunchtime, and you'll get some movement in the afternoon. But the volume, it tends to die off throughout the day. And then you get people who are swing trading, for example, will come back at the end of the day for what we call power hour. And then they'll either start taking positions or averaging the positions or taking profits, cutting the losses, whatever it is. That increases a lot of volume into the market as well. And then you're getting people that want to either exit or take profits from their positions, short or long, before the market closes as well, because they don't want to be holding that position overnight. So you get a lot more volume in that last 60 minutes of the day as well. So the start of the day, trading day, and the end of the trading day is when the stocks move the most. You trade the indices, so futures and stuff. So the Nasdaq. So if I'm looking at the S&P 5, which is the Spider is an ETF. It's an index fund that mirrors the S&P 500, and it's currently about almost 0.5% up at the moment. It's ranging sideways. It's up and above and below the volume weighted average price. Slightly up on the day, but the SPY is not showing any signs of huge volatility today. Let's have a look at the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq is in a similar way, but it's actually trading slightly down on the day. So it's a tenth of a percentage point down, but again it's moving sideways. It was up a couple of hours ago, and now it's slightly down. So it's not showing. We're getting those sideways markets. If I look at the VIX, which is still up in around 31. Now the VIX is what they call the fear index. It's a measure of volatility in the market and uncertainty in the market. So as long as that's above 30 points, then it's usually a sign that the market has a high degree of indecision, and that's the way it's been for a while now. So yeah, I agree. Marigold. So Marigold is on the. What really wanted to see that hold above the volume weighted average price, but it's not down below 470s again. But I'll keep watching that. Do I not eat lunch? I've had my lunch already. So I had my lunch before I open the stream. Miso soup. Miso soup. You want me to have a look at Miso? Miso Blast Limited. So this is currently trading around 415s. Say it's currently trading. It actually isn't. There's nobody trading it at all at the moment. So there's been no trade on that today. Very low volume. So from an intraday basis, from a day trading basis, that's not of interest to us. From a swing stroke fundamental basis, if I look at the daily chart, it's not a very strong chart at all. It gapped down there in early December quite significantly, didn't recover. It's been selling off since mid-January. It's not hugely bearish, but it's not very bullish either. It's quite sideways in terms of the range between kind of $4 and $5. From a long-term investment, I would have to see some fundamentals that convince me that's a good investment. from an intraday day trading perspective, there's nothing there. There's no trades there. There's just no volume, and there's no volatility first and foremost, where you can get the movement, but there's no volume that's going to make those moves, you know, predictable. So unfortunately, miso, not for me. Okay. I don't know. I could do with losing a bit of weight, Gabrielle. You know, I've got a few extra pounds here. It's not like rock hard abs with his rock hard. Actually, I do have rock hard abs. It's just like, you know, rather than sitting on the springs on the sofa, I'm well upholstered, so I'm a lot more comfortable. I'm what's known as a dad bod, you know, and I have no problems with that. You know, I have a dad bod, and that's it. And I've even got an Instagram account, which is, you know, calling out that I've got a dad bod. And I used to do a lot of traveling before the pandemic, so that wasn't about, you know. My days of being sporty and athletic are behind me. I could, if I wanted to, because I've got that physique where what's known as an endomorph. Whereas if I spend a lot of time training, if I go to the gym every day, I actually cut up really quickly. I build muscle really quickly. However, I could lose the fat and build the muscles and look like Adonis, you know, look like somebody that should be wearing a superhero costume or something. But what I would say is I've got two options. I can either be built and look like Garth, or I can be happy, because I love my food. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with food, and food is kind of a passion of mine. So I chose happy. So I rock the dad bod. Were I able to create the WhatsApp group? No, I haven't, but I've created it's slowly catchy monkey. So I've created a Discord. Like I say, I'm now streaming on Twitch. I'm streaming on Twitter simultaneously as I am on YouTube, and I'm streaming obviously on TikTok. I've created a Discord. That's going to get priority to the students of the course, but I will be opening that Discord up to the general public as soon as I've worked out how to work it properly. I'm not the most socially media adept. I might just spring to hire or a social media manager or something. We can get on Fiverr and pay someone to do that for me or whatever. But that's something I'll look into in the coming days anyway. Chicken and pineapple pizza is a tasty monthly craving. Any pizza is a tasty monthly craving as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't have to be chicken and pineapple, although I do like chicken and pineapple. Tandoori chicken and pineapple with jalapenos and mushrooms as well. So I'm one of those people that like a pizza pie. I like lots of different ingredients, not just one or two. So I tend to go overboard with it. Yeah, absolutely. So it's about 119 pounds. Rock hard. So you know, whilst the Teachable, it charges dollars, it gets converted to pounds. So it's about 100, it's less than 120 pounds anyway. So at the moment, based on the current exchange rates, $150 or 120, call it 120 quid, just as a nice round number. Okay, let's have a look at Marigold. Oh, we're back above the VWAP. Just want to see more volume though, that's the thing. Agri's below the VWAP, so I'm not trading that at the moment. ASCP is it's trading along with the VWAP without the volume. So just keeping an eye on some of these stocks. We're still early. We've got an hour to the bell yet, so it's still early. We're just waiting for a decent move. We're getting a steady climb from Marigold. So let's have a look at where the $5 is a key psychological level for me. But we're also seeing this resistance level around 490. I would say, what's this one here? The high of $5. So $5 for me is probably the next entry point on Marigold if we go up that far. If we retest $5, I'll be interested. Okay. Well, thanks for the flower, Marcon. AstraZeneca. Let me pull up my trading view app. AstraZeneca. Spelling it wrong. There you go. So AstraZeneca is 2,600 a stock at a minute. There's light volume as well, but yeah, a lot of the large caps are like that. So on a 1 minute, that's fine. On the hourly chart, which is more relevant to the large caps, it's trading sideways. AstraZeneca tends to trade, if you look at it from a day on the daily chart, you can see how it tends to trade very similar to the wider market. If you look at the S&P 5 or the Dow or whatever, this is on the NYSE. So if you look at the wider market, AstraZeneca tends to trade in line with the wider market. It's what's known as a lagging stock and follows the trends. So as the wider markets start to recover, you'll see AstraZeneca start to recover, or you should see AstraZeneca start to recover. I'm not going to say you will, but it will be a good bet. It will be a good bet. Okay, so guys, 85 people in the chat. If you've not tapped the screen 10 times to get the like count up and push it out, get the algorithm to push the live out, then give the screen 10 taps. If you have already, doesn't matter. It just helps with the algorithm to have the interaction and the engagement. So and it pushes out to more people. So right now, $5 is what I'm looking for with Marigold. Currently up at 495s. This is risky simply because the volume pre-market is not as much. It's not as high as it would be after the bell. So any trade you take pre-market, you're really looking for, and I'm looking for a break of this resistance level of the whole dollar. So if I see the volume come in as we approach it, I'll take a position. If I don't see the volume come in, I won't be taking the position. Okay, I want to see it break 5, otherwise we get out. Just watching that now. I just bought in at 5, and my risk, I'll give it 20 cents, considering that's where the VWAP is. So I want to see it retest 5, or we get out at 480. Oh, typically when you get these key levels of resistance, they do get rejected, but they go up and retest and they can break if it's in a good trend, if it's exhibiting a good trend. Now this is a double top, which is typically a bearish indicator, a bearish pattern, as opposed to a flat top. So the only reason that I'm taking this position right now is because, and I will get out there now. So that's just broke the VWAP. So I'll just get out there. It's a small loss. So we're giving it 20 cents. It's a small loss. But it was starting to move up from, $4, kind of bounced at the $4 level, and then moved up. So it went up, tested 5, back down to the volume weighted average price, moved back up to retest 5. So it's now back down to the volume weighted average price. I'll wait for it to look, and if we get, what's the high of this candle? If we get a break of 490 and retest it again, I'll look to maybe taking a position. But right now, it's not following through and breaking that session, that range that we're looking for, that resistance level that we're seeing as key. So you exit, you take a position, and you look at where could you get up to. Now the pre-market highs are up here at 580s, so that's something that we want to be marking down for after the bell. So this was 581, so if it breaks 581 again after the bell, we potentially could okay, so we broke that the high of that previous candle, so we're moving back up. I'm just going to see what transpires. I want to see this retest 5. So if this goes back up to 5, retest 5, we might see a little bit of a breakout. Now we've got relatively narrow spreads. We're looking at 1 cent, 2 cents on the spread, so it's not a big deal. So just bounce at the view up again. Just watching this. We've got, at the moment, a lower high, but we're getting these higher lows. So the low of this one was 476. So as long as we're getting higher lows, that's a good sign. Just in this trade now, looking for a pop above $5 ideally. Just waiting for it to move. And this is what happens when you take trades pre-market, because it's lower volume. They tend to be a lot slower. The action is a lot slower than it would be after the bell. So it can be frustrating. You just sat there watching the action. Yeah, absolutely. So the dog snoring. Yeah, she does that. She does that. Like I say, yeah, I'm not interested in Doge or Shiba at the minute, but if there's a Cho coin, then let me know, and I might just for sentimental reasons, I might take a position on Cho coin. Actually, Gabrielle, when oil dropped 15% last week, then it didn't come as a surprise, actually. So if you look at the patterns, if you will, it had moved up so much. So all the oil stocks had what, almost 2 weeks of volatility to the upside. There had to be a consolidation. There had to be a pullback at some stage. Now, don't bet against them moving up again this week. Not to say that individual stocks are going to moon or anything like that, but don't bet against oil moving up again this week and the price of oil going up again this week. That's the worry they've got. So we've got a bit of a flat bottom there. Forming, what was that? 76. We got to 77. So what? 75, and I'll cut this one as well. That's what? Is that the market open? Ah, right. It's March, isn't it? Shit, I forgot that the clocks went back in America. So markets opened early, as far as I'm concerned. Right, so Indo's making a move. Indonesian Energy. Right, okay, so I'm in this trade and I didn't really want to be in this trade at the market open, so I'll give it 67 is that resistance level. Let's see, I'll get out of this one if I need to. Let's watch this. Okay. So the market is open early. 2:30. It's 9:30 in the afternoon. 9:30 in the morning market time. Okay, so I want to see this above $5. Okay, rejected again at $5. This time we should see it above $5. Let's go up and break 5. Okay, so that's the break of 5. Let's hold. Let's see it hold above 5. I see this test 520. Agri's making moves to the upside as well. So the high of this range, this high of this candle 507. So next add 510. Just watching this now. We're in Murray Gold, which is what we traded on Friday. It's not the most voluminous in terms of stock, but take another add to the position there. I see this above 515, 520 as we move up. Take a little bit of profit off. Take a little bit more off. Fill in for 5,000 shares. All right. So high of this one is 515. That's the bottom of the range. Breaks 460, then we go out. I want to see any lower low. It's got lower low, so we exit there. And we look for so we made the money back and then we gave it back. So we're 2,000 in the hole starting the market. So let's have a look. I'll switch these on to regular hours, regular session, the scanners. And let's see what the movers are. So Agri, Marigold's drop, Yang, no. Moderna, no. Let's have a look at Agri. So the high of this one is $4. $4 for Agri. I'll just move this down here. Okay. It's $3.99. So I'm looking for $4 is what I'm looking for. Marigold, the high the high here on Marigold is 5/15. So that's the range that we're looking for on both Agri and so Agri just broke the range while we were looking at Marigold. So take okay, let's take a position with Agri. I just pull back to the VWAP, 10 cents. Just watching this volume come in there. So we're getting good volume with Agri now. It's currently 390s. I want to see it trading above 4. The pre-market high is 420, so look for an add at 420. Getting a little bit of resistance at 405s, but 420 seems to be the threshold. Okay. This is one of those that, okay, we've taken 2 trades and we've taken losing positions on both. So we'll look for the setups now. Be a little bit more careful. So we're about 4,500 in the red. So we'll just wait for a couple more candles to form. We've now got a range between on Agri 413 and the bottom here is 370s. So that's our opening range. Let's have a look at Marigold. Got a range up there at 515 and a bottom at 453. So that's our opening range. What else is moving? No, we're not getting a lot. Okay. Whilst I'm out of this early start today, it's daylight saving. Yeah, I completely slipped my mind because I'm sat in Dublin here, and daylight saving for me is at the end of the month. So I'm not trading crypto. I don't trade crypto. We don't get enough volume to trade crypto on an intraday basis, or volatility for that matter. So whilst you can get some moves, kind of 15, 25% on an intraday basis on crypto, the volume, the patterns don't set up with the volume to facilitate predictable trading. It's bad enough trying to do it on the volume with stocks, as you can see. I mean, I got faked out a couple of times there. But to do it on crypto, it's a lot more difficult. Swing trading is probably better with crypto, or you take your YOLO positions, maybe 4 or 5 different positions. You put a small amount into each before they hit the main exchanges. Usually, when they hit the main exchanges, the biggest gains are done, and they tend to then start trading with the wider crypto space. So Agri, Indo, Marigold, IMPP. Let's have a look at you. Oh, I missed the entry. 320s. It's too small for me. So looks like energy stocks are going to try and make a comeback today. Most of them are trading down on the day, but it looks like they're trying to come back. The SPY made a pip and then sold off. Nasdaq's the same. Little pip at the open, then sold off. So let's have a look at night scope. No. Okay, so Agri's making a comeback for the to take the $4. So I want to see Agri retesting these opening highs now. Not taking a position until they retest the highs. There's not a lot of volume in the market at the moment. So we're just waiting for maybe a bit more volume to come into the market. So I've drawn the range here. You can see this is the opening 5-minute opening range on Marigold. Here's the opening range on Agri. So I really need to see this breaking 413s now. So we got up above $4 and now it's pulling back again. So that for me is yeah, we'll see. We're getting lower, higher lows, and but we're also getting lower highs. So something's got to give. This gets above 405. We might be on the route. There we go. So I want to see this above 410, breaking highs. I was able to take bigger size to start off with because we're starting starting this week with 78,000 equity. So we can afford to take a little. That gives us 450,000 in buying power. So we can afford to be a little bit more aggressive if we want to. I'm just waiting for this to break the highs of 413. That's what I want from. If it doesn't break the highs and is rejected at kind of 412, 413, then I'll know this range is not for me. Marigold's selling off. Getting no continuation there. Just session lows now. Couple of dojis there. Couple of long wick dojis for Agri. That's usually a sign of indecision. So we're just we got up above 4. We got up to 407 so far on Agri. It's the one that's looking the most attractive to me. Marps has just hit the scanners on very low volume, so I won't be trading that. Moderna is also it's a bit too high my liking in terms of price, but has moved quite a bit considering the price. Okay, Direct Digital. Again, low volume move. So I want to see this stay above $4 ideal. The fact that it's ranging sideways around $4 doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. So the Nasdaq's just gone green on the day, as has the S&P 5. So both of them now above the VWAP, so they're in an upwards trend. The markets are on an upwards trend, so maybe that will impact the wider stock movements a little bit. Let's see. What did turquoise do? Yeah, sideways. Low volume pre-market, so it's not really picked up, and I'm getting these blank dojis. Okay. Just looking for something with a bit of volume. I'm not really getting any movers with volume. So Agri still remains the top candidate for a move at the moment. Although Indonesian energy is starting to make a bit of a comeback. It's about to go green on the day. So those energy stocks, let me have a look. What's the spread on this? Well, 50 cents is good for Indonesian energy. It's just gone green on the day. I'll keep my eye on Agri. Like I said, if it gets over 30, if Indonesian energy gets over $30, you can expect to see some fireworks because huge short float, like 49% short float. Let me just pull this up here so we can actually confirm what we're at the moment. Yeah, 49% short float. So the shorts are going to have to cover if it keeps moving up. Agri's just not behaving itself below the VWAP, as is Marigold. So right now we may go back to Indonesian energy. $29. The volatility with Indonesian energy is huge. Oh, Agri's just hold off now. Try Indonesian energy. So the range is huge. The spread is huge. Trying to get filled here is like terrible. Fill me for God's sakes. There you go. Terrible fill. We're just watching Indonesian energy. 31.98 is the halt level. So if it gets up towards 32, it's currently 31. So if it gets up to 32, that could be dangerous. I'll just take a little bit of profit off as it moves up. Huge range with spreads, 88 cents on the spread. So just be careful if you're trading Indonesian energy. Just be careful and factor in the spreads to your risk. I'm currently break even on this trade. Don't mind this pullback. Expect that with this short interest. Try and add to the position there, not getting filled again. These spreads are what's not filling me. Okay, so is that gonna, am I gonna get filled? No. Yes. So green needs to stay green. We're looking for the move back up towards the highs, which are currently 31.50s. Looking for the move back up to the highs of 31, 31.50, 32. The halt is 32. Halt level is 32.63, so we're way off there. We're way off the halt, so we don't have to worry about that. Not just yet, at least. Okay, so this one is 29.68. Goal is 28.30. Not seeing a lot of movement in the market at the moment. So Beaky just hit this scanners, KE Holdings, Beaky, BEKE. We'll have a look at that in a moment. See what the 2.9 million shares, so that's a decent shares. I don't know what the float size is, but it's gone up 16% in 15 minutes. So I'll put it on this one here. Still down on the day, but that's a good move. Oh, that's something we can look at in a moment. $0.86 spread on this. So you know, you're if you put 1,000, if you take 1,000 shares on Indonesian Energy, you're already 860 down before any price action takes place. So I'm not watching a news channel. I get my I get all my news and alerts and stock picks, etc. I get it from Benzinga, which is this chart, this one down here. So this here is Benzinga here, and I've got my scanners, alerts, news all set up on this screen here, and I can get all my information from Benzinga. What is a halt? So a halt is three types of halt, but the most common one is a volatility halt. So if a stock moves 10% in 5 minutes, the SEC will call a halt to trading on that stock for 5 minutes or longer. So it's usually 5 minutes, but they will halt trading on that particular stock. And that's called a volatility halt. Another one is a news pending halt. So if there's about to be a news announcement about a particular company, they might halt, and it potentially could impact the share price. They might halt trading on that company for a period. It could be, you know, hours in some cases, until that news has been announced and broadcast. The third one is halt in pending investigation. Now, this is usually something a little bit more nefarious, a little bit more sinister. Maybe there's insider trading or some kind of corruption or unusual activity that needs to be looked into. And in that case, not only can you be halted for hours or even days. In some cases, it could be weeks until the investigation is complete effectively. And even then, once the investigation is complete, the company might actually get delisted from the exchange. So in that case, you could, in some cases, lose your entire position. If you're trading on margin, if you're trading on leverage with a broker it's a margin account, the likelihood is you'll get liquidated. They will liquidate your position if you get a news halt pending investigation. You'll get liquidated. There we go. So I'm watching this now. Hey, Cornflake, how you doing? We're just in this, we want to see this up around 31, 31.50, retest those highs. That's what we're expecting it to do. I'm getting a little bit of a battle going on here in terms of the shorts versus longs. 72,000 shares traded on that candle, 25. So the volume isn't huge on this one in terms of per minute, but we got kind of a boost in volume on that last one for the break of $30, and then it pulled back. So I want to see it break $30 and stay above that. I did say that's the line in the sand for the shorts. If it keeps rising above $30 and stays above $30, that 49% short interest, a lot of them are going to cover. So if it goes up towards 32 and breaks 32, the further it goes away from where they entered their short position, then, and you're saying last week it did go up as high as 85, so many of them might be holding their positions from kind of 50, 60, 70 $70 a share, in which case they're not exactly in hot water at the moment. But they'll want to take profits. They'll be losing profits. So as long as this goes up and continues to go up, then the shorts will want to cover to either take profits or get out of their losing position. If this goes red on the day, it's going to be a huge hit for me. I'm risking a lot on this trade. It's just gone red on the day. So I see a bounce, VWAP bounce here. I'll make another move to the upside. Okay, that's not a good sign. So currently in a huge hole with this trade. I might just get out of this position for a huge loss. So I've extended myself on this trade because we have such a big equity position starting the day. We had a good week, a really good week last week. We did over $40,000 in profit last week. So I've taken a big risk with this trade, and I've risked half of last week's profits, and I need to. If this doesn't bounce here at the VWAP, then I need to cut this. Can't be taking this risk. Indonesian Energy did this to me last week. This is the exact same ticker did this to me last week. I lost, was it last week or the week before? I lost 28,000. Oh, the week before, I lost $28,000 on this one. 27,000 or something like that. So when you've got a spread of like over $1 a share, and you're taking 10,000 shares, you're already in the whole 10,000 if it moves $1. And this has got quite a big range, which is why I'm taking a big risk here. So the spreads are huge, the range is big, and the volatility is huge. And this is I'm gonna have to cut my loss here. Not seeing the volume coming back in. So this is not good news for me, this rate. That little resistance line that we had there is at 27.80 that we drew previously. That's now acting as support. I want to see that. It's green, back green on the day. I need to see it stay green. I'm not risking any more shares on this trade. I'm not putting any more into this trade until we get to a position. So our current average buy price is 29.87. The ask is 29.82. So the move is the movement. Price action movement is not huge. We're talking like 5 cents. Oh, yeah, sorry, no, it's not. It says $1.05. I need to start reading better. I want to see this stay green and then move to the upside. A little ray in there to see. On it. The volume's just dried up. And we were watching Agri, we were trading Agri earlier, and that's gone up to it's broke session highs and halted on the way up. So Agri halted at 10 o'clock. So that will resume in 2 minutes. Patience can be a wonderful thing. If I'd stuck with Agri, we'll be quids in there. But the right thing was to cut that loss. Lost $2,500 on Agri. Agri Force. So we're still in this trade. It's 16,000 red at the moment unrealized, but that's largely because of the spreads are huge, and the range is quite big as well. So if this continues up and moves up above $30, we'll be okay. If my Auntie Margaret had a pair of bollocks, she'd be my uncle Michael. So back over 29, touching 30. The spreads are huge though, like I said, 80-90 cent spreads. Seeing a bit of volume coming in now. Agri just resumed. So we've got a bit of buying pressure. That long wick doesn't fill me with a huge amount of confidence. That upwards wick is usually an indication of selling pressure. So we're not getting huge down wicks, which will be the inverse of that. but we got volume for the break of this this trend line. Then it pulled back, so it was a bit of a fake out. I'm just it goes red again on the day then, because I want to see continuous higher lows for this to be worthwhile holding on to. This goes red on the day, we just get out. That trend line is now in line with red-green mark, yesterday's close. So we're coming towards the end of this pennant. Okay. $28. I want to see it. Okay. I'm going to get it. Oh, that's a large piece of the exposure gone. It's half my position gone. And so today's not a good day. It's a red Monday again. We had a red Wednesday. We recovered from that last week. We did 9,000. We lost 9,000 last Wednesday. For those of you that are new to the stream, you know, you've got to take your winners and your losers. It's unfortunately part of trading. Sometimes you lose money, as well as sometimes you win or gain. But right now, we're in a losing position. So I've taken half off. I don't want to see it going any further than this. And the volume's just dried up. So just holding this position out of hope more than anything else, out of desperation, hoping it will move to the upside, and that's not a good position you want to find yourself in. Just trying to find an exit point where I can get out with minimal loss, because this has gone completely against us. So 27.50 is the line in the sand there. Dojis around that area. Get out. That's really, that's cut into that's half of our equity for the month. Well, that's a bad day's trading. Bad day's trading, and you have those. You have those. So occasionally you've got to take the mantra of, you know, easy come, easy go. So last week we were 40k up, 41k up in the space of a week. Yes, even though we lost 9k on the Wednesday, but or 8k or whatever it was. We're starting this week in a hole, so we've now just we're 30,000 down on the week. So that's a red day. I'm not going to be trading anymore. That's me. I'm way beyond my max loss for the day. So that's I tend to say 25% of my equity is my max loss. So I've done you know, almost what, 40% of my equity, 45%, something like that. So that's way above my max loss on the day, and I will have to come back tomorrow and try and recover. I'll stick around for a while. I'll provide a bit of commentary on the markets for a little while, but that's a red day, I'm afraid. That's and they happen. That's I'm trying to hide from that fact is just delusion. So unlike most of last week and the previous week, Indonesian energy wasn't my friend. If I just have a look at the stick to the rules, great job. Actually, I didn't stick to the rules. That was the problem. It was difficult to stick to the rules with Indonesian energy because of the spreads were so big. So you couldn't go in knowing full well that it does have the opportunity to move. So I went in there willing to risk about $10,000. Then I actually added to the position, so my risk went up to around $20,000. And then I didn't cut when I should have done. So I should have been cutting at when it was break even on the day, and I held it too long. So I didn't stick to the rules, and that is exactly why you should stick to the rules. So I'm not Mr. Perfect. Even I succumb to the emotions of trading in the markets, and that's the biggest thing that you're going to struggle with. It really is. Let me just type into Indo and this ticker as a whole. So my total gain on Indonesian energy this last couple of weeks is $56,000 I've made with Indonesian energy. So you know, we've been doing okay with that. We're at $56,000 in the green on this one ticker over the last few weeks. Of course, that's now going to come off. So 26,000. So we'll be 30,000 in the green on that ticker for the last couple of weeks. So I've just lost 26,000 on it. So yeah, that's a bit of a bad trading day. It's not the worst trading day I've ever had, but it's not far off. Tomorrow's definitely going to be a good day, so which is why I've got to you know, not trade anymore unless I see something that's absolutely magical setup and like, why am I not jumping in kind of thing. It's one of those days where you just get it wrong. The setup's fake you out. You know, you look for the break of resistance, you look for the break of highs, and it just doesn't go your way. So then you add to the position and never add to, you know, one of the golden rules of risk management is never add to a losing position. So funnily enough, about 2 hours ago, I posted a little video on my TikTok stream, my TikTok channel, and it was just a skit, the kind of lip syncing skit, and it was like, what is plan A? Don't fuck up plan A. Okay, and what's plan B? Don't fuck up plan A. And what did you do? Fucked up plan A. So I've just fucked up plan A. Plan A is take profits. I didn't take any profits, and even when we were in profit, I didn't take profits. I added to the position for a bigger win, and it didn't go my way. In fact, I got a really bad fill. And unrealized, I was about 7,000 up at one stage, and I didn't take profits. So there's the rules. Plan A, take profits along the way. And plan B, don't hold on to losers. So I didn't take profits, and I held on to a loser too long. So, you know, I'm an experienced trader. I know this happens. This is just a red day, and I'll recover from that. I've recovered from worse days. In fact, we had a worse day at the end of last month. We did. We had again, that was Indonesian energy that was the culprit then as well. So, and it took us less than a week to recover last time out. So, you know, we're in a bit of a drawdown. And we've just got to take that on the chin. Elsie, I would say you need to make that decision. The question there is, where are the gains? Are you making gains along the way, or is he just a complete loser? Should you let go of him? Should you cut him loose? I think in most cases, I would say yes, you should cut him. If he's a loser and you're not making any gains anywhere, then absolutely cut him loose. Nice one, nice one. Rock hard, Luke. Like I say, red days happen. Red days happen. Last week we had some really good days last week. If I go back to my journal from last week, if I go back to the Monday, We traded Indonesian energy on Monday. We did $36,000 in profit on Indonesian energy. We rode it all the way up. It was a good trading day, all in, and I think we did that all live on stream. Got a minute. So last Monday, yeah, $36,000 on Monday. We lost on Bed Bath & Beyond and Houston American on Monday, but we made $20,000 largely because Indonesian energy more than covered that. Then on Tuesday we made $17,000. We didn't trade Indonesian energy on Tuesday, go figure. But we had a big one with Servco. Wednesday was a red day. We lost $7,000. It was actually $8,000 after net, but $7,000 was the trade profit and loss. Then we made $10,000 on the Thursday, and we made $5,000 on the Friday. So, you know, last week was a good week. We're profitable on the month. We're actually doing okay on the month, month to date. I just have a look at my trade profit and loss on the month. We were 49,000. So that profit is cut a big portion of that profit and loss for the month, but we've still got 2 weeks left, and that's kind of puts us back at 18,000 profit for the month. So, you know, if at the beginning of the my trading career, it was okay, you're going to make 18th, and this is how you've got to approach it from a psychological point of view. You've always got to zoom out. And from the beginning of my trading career, if I said to myself, okay, you put the effort in and learn how to trade, you can make $18,000 a month consistently. I would have taken that. Absolutely would have taken that. So $18,000 a month is really good money, and it's, you know, it's almost it's over 200,000 a year. So that's really good money. So we've got 2 weeks left to recover this, get back up towards the 70s, recover the drawdown. The thing is, you've got to approach it that you're taking trades on an individual day basis, but you look at, when you pan out, you look at your profit on a monthly basis, and this is how I've always approached it. So I never take any profit out, and I never withdraw any money from my broker until the end of the month. And I look at what's been my net gain across the total month. However, on an individual basis, I look at what my gain is on the day. And the reason for that is there's a couple of reasons. The first one is that I don't want any prior trading, that the previous day or the previous week or whatever, to affect my psychology, to affect the psychology of my trading on that given day. So if I've had a bad day, if I made a loss, so I come in tomorrow and I want to start trading again tomorrow, I don't want today to be affected, and I start getting nervous and making the wrong decisions and end up digging an even bigger hole on the week. So I start from net zero tomorrow. So my goal tomorrow is to make a profit again tomorrow. So I'll be trading smaller size tomorrow. So I came in, I was swinging big, swinging big, 10,000 shares. I was swinging big today, and it went against me. And that's what happens. If you swing for the fences every time, the likelihood is you will lose. So tomorrow I'll come in. Yes, I'll have substantially smaller equity, but I've still got the leverage. So I still could swing big if I wanted to. And this is where the difference between profitable traders and gamblers comes in, because a gambling mindset is, this next trade, I've got to make back what I've lost on the last trade. And you've got to say, every trade is separate. You've got to take every trade individually and have an individual trade plan for every single trade. You cannot think about what you've just lost. You cannot think about what you've just gained. You know, each trade, every time you enter a trade, you have a trade plan. You should stick to it. And, you know, do as I say, not as I do. I'm only human like the rest of you. And, you know, I changed my strategies, changed the plan mid-trade with Indonesian energy then, and it went against me. So that happens. And it's a good advertisement why you should stick to your strategy. It's better to make consistent small gains than big losses. I mean, that goes for itself, you know. It's self-explanatory. Okay, let me get back into the chat. So, Smarty Cats wants to know how I'm doing overall. So overall, in terms of since I started trading, or in the last 12 months, or just this year, or this month. I mean, today we're having a red day, but we're profitable this month. We did we're about $18,000, $19,000 profit in March. We did 74,000. Started with only 5,000 in February, so it was a small account challenge, and I had to be a bit more conscious of the risk. So we did $74,000 worth of profit in February. I did 100 and what did I do in 130 calendar. I just want to look at January and what I did in January, detailed. No, I don't want to do 3 months. So my profit 200 and for 2022, my trade profit and loss is 280. I look at January, I did, which was a really good month. Trade profit and loss was 140, but that's not what. If I look back at January, 124,000 I made in January in total, and a couple of red days there as well. So that wasn't huge. Couple of blanks and a couple of red days. So yeah, 124,000 net in January. So that was a good month. February we did 74,000 net, and we're before today we're 49,000. So less that. So it's about 18. I'd say about 18,000 net currently in March. So you know, 2022 is still doing well. Still we're okay. I wouldn't say that I'm at the pauper's house just yet. So how long have we been trading for? How did I get started? So I got started back in, really submersed myself into it back in June 2020. And for the first 6-7 months of trading, I consistently lost money for that pretty much every month. I'd be up a little bit one week and I'd go for like 4 or 5 days, 6 days, maybe even a fortnight of having, you know, green days, trading green days, and then I'd give it all back and give profits, and then I'd go revenge trading the day after and give it back, and end up red on the month and losing on the month. So I'd make good headway. To be honest, the first 2 months I didn't make any profits at all. I was completely clueless and was just literally throwing money at the markets. Trying to trade different strategies, tried it with Forex, lost money, tried trading futures, went on to eToro. I was trying to trade the S&P 5, the NASDAQ, the FTSE. I was all over the place. I didn't have a strategy. I was just trying to read the markets and jump in and chase momentum. And that's the only strategy that is a strategy to give you money away. So that first couple of months was a bit of an eye-opener to me. It was like, this is not just as simple as buy low, sell high. There's obviously a lot more to it. So I just started doing a bit more research, started submersing myself into it, started trading to a strategy, or I thought I was trading to a strategy, starting to have a plan when I was entering a trade. But again, I was having good periods of you know, green streaks, if you will, and then giving it back in droves. And this is typical. This is typical behavior of a lot of traders when they start off. Is that you start to get a bit cocky. You think you've finally figured it out. You're using different strategies. You're thinking you've got a technical indicator pattern that works, and then ultimately the market comes back and bites you on the ass. And that's what happened to me for the first, I would say, like I say, 5, 6, 7 months. Then last year, I started actually looking into my trades on a kind of a microscopic level, really analysing what was my profit and loss ratios, what was my risk reward ratios, what was my accuracy in terms of trade selection, how was I picking my my stocks to trade, what were the criteria that I was using. And I started, following a couple of other people on YouTube and watching what they were doing, starting adapting my way of working. And then the whole GameStop AMC fiasco kicked off January, February last year. And I blew up my account in IBKR, Interactive Brokers. Had to replenish that account and wasn't too happy with that. So I opened an account with Capital Markets, blew that up, trading GME, had to replenish it again, blew it up again. And then third time of asking, I actually got profit. Not just did I get profitable on GME, I ended up finishing that February profitable on the month. And it was my first green month, first fully green month. And from then on, it just clicked for me. I started, okay, now I've got a strategy that works. Instead of trading multiple different patterns, multiple different strategies, I've got a small handful of patterns that I trade. I've got a small handful of strategies that I trade at different parts of the day. And more importantly, it's like when it's not going my way, to walk away. That's the big thing. So I think couple of things have happened to me today is that I got caught on the hop because I didn't factor in the fact that daylight saving kicked in the US, so that's on me, living my own little bubble. And so when the market opened, I wasn't ready for it. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing was trying to be smart with Indonesian energy and overextending myself with the spreads in particular, or overextending myself on patterns that there wasn't enough volume for it to execute on. So that was me, today. And so I got in, I lost. How did I actually get involved in the markets? That's what you're actually saying. I was laid off from my position. I had a 6-figure position. I was regional vice president for Europe, Middle East, and Africa for the software company I worked for. So I was in charge of the whole profitability of that particular business for the EMEA region, when the pandemic hit, everybody closed down. It was back, behind closed doors. We were trying to make the best of a bad lot. And in the software industry, in particular, in the technology space, in particular, we tend to work on quarters, and we have what's known as a hockey stick, a financial hockey stick, where the majority of customers will buy in that last couple of weeks of the quarter. The fiscal quarter. So this was March. Now we closed down, effectively closed the office on the 17th of March, which just happened to be St. Patrick's Day here in Ireland. So we closed the offices, and then we didn't get that hockey stick. So we missed the revenue targets in that first quarter by a huge margin. And it was down to the fact that we weren't the only ones that weren't in the office. The majority of our customers weren't in the office either. So we just couldn't get hold of people, or we couldn't do that. But reactions were made, decisions were made, and they decided to close my division that I was in charge of. So myself and everybody that worked for me were laid off. Now I got a severance package, and I took that severance package and I put it in dribs and drabs. I broke it up and I put it into the markets, and I lost a huge portion of it. As I say, to start off with. So that's how I got into the markets. I wanted to be earning money whilst we were in lockdown, and I had to teach myself how to trade. So I've been wanting to do it for quite a while, but just never had the time to do it because I was too busy doing my job. I was doing my 9 to 5. And whilst my 9 to 5 was, you know, it was a well-paid six-figure position, it was bloody hard work, and I was doing a lot of traveling. I was doing, you know, long hours because I was having conference calls with the US. Miami was where HQ was, so conference calls with the US up until kind of 9-10 p.m. at night. I was up in the morning early because I had staff that were based in Munich or based in The Hague in the Netherlands. I had customers that were over in the Middle East, and you know, so the hours were long, the work was hard, and I just didn't want to go back to the office, if I'm being completely honest. I wanted to be my own boss, so I started creating various income streams for myself. So on the back of that, I've created myself an affiliate marketing business, a website, a blog that I get paid regularly for. That I've got my consultancy, which I still do. So I'm being chased as it stands right now from GuidePoint. So GuidePoint are wanted me to do a consultancy with one of their customers. So and GuidePoint they do a lot of research. They're a research house. So I had a couple of, and I charge kind of $400 an hour for my consultancy. On top of that, I've got e-commerce with Amazon. I've got my Kindle Direct publishing account, which doesn't do a lot during the, being completely honest, during the year, but the 3 months up to Christmas is a nice little income stream from KDP. And I've just launched the course as well, the trading course. That was really demand from the stream here, people wanting me to teach them. So I thought, okay, I could potentially put something together. So I spent quite a lot of time recording the lectures and putting the material together for a course. So that's available, and that's on the link tree. In fact, what I'll do is I'll pull that up now, and so if you're wondering where the course is or where you can find this course, I will put the camera so you can see. If you go into my profile, and where's my cursor gone? What's happened here? Okay, my computer, I'm glad it wasn't in a trade because my machine's just gone blank. Okay, go figure. No, what's happening here? So apologies if you're on the stream and you're looking for where the tickers are, where the scanners are. They're slowly coming back.